Rockstar!
Hey everybody, did you hear the news? It's time for more Kirby 64, the crystal shirts.
Ooh, we had Popstar. Now we have Rockstar.
Oh man, is that what it's?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize.
It's the music
Victor,
idol
have you
theme.
ever had the crystal shards?
Have you ever had so many shards?
Shards.
Shards, yes I haven't. That was more creative than I expected. I'm gonna go Spike. Spike and Boomerang were always my least favorite powers as a kid.
Because Spike makes
because
you
they aren't
fucking
very creative.
stop.
Yes,
That's
it makes you
why.
stop, and it's very annoying. I'm gonna use it right now because
The fact that it makes
YOLO.
you interrupts the flow is really what gets me. What is this turn? Is this the Swiss Army knife
it's just
one?
more spikes.
Yes, the
Swiss
fucking-
Army Kirby. It's
Hold
got
on.
a pencil.
Stay in that for a
bee
second.
sting,
There's a bee stinger, a pencil,
corkscrew, a cactus, a
syringe.
I'm gonna fucking inject people with fucking heroin.
Is that called a compass? What you make a circle with?
Protractor.
Are you sure?
I think it's a compass and a protractor. This is
I
a
think
sword.
A protractor is the one that does angles.
Oh yeah. I'm a dipshit. I'm out of math.
There's a fork and a nail.
I
All
was
kinds of
thinking
shit.
recently, like I
Every
really
kind
wish
of
I
edge.
had retained math
Point.
skills. So I was never bad at math, but you have to memorize the formulas.
Oh yeah, I was horrible. Well, I don't know. Yeah, like you said, it's all about memorizing the formula. So the duration of time that you know the formula is the time that you are good
Yes.
at math. Cause I don't know.
I enjoyed math.
I'm sure I've told this story on radio before, but probably not in any kind of concrete video, of how I failed Algebra 2 in the 11th grade with a 17% for my total
Just
grade.
Fucking impressive. I am really impressed that you could get a 17%.
I love that you laugh every time you hear that.
have to be trying to fail. You have to really be making an effort to get 17%.
While showing up every day.
It's fucking impressive.
I made 17% while showing up for
skip
class
school.
every day.
It's like you really failed at being a bad kid. Like you got one thing right and fucked up the other thing.
Like I missed out on the good,
half-assed
like the
bad
fun
kid.
part of being a bad
Yeah.
kid. Yeah, the story goes that when I was in 11th grade, I stopped giving a shit about school. It was funny because leading up
Dude,
to
your
11th
feet smell like shit. What did you do? Oh my god, I'm
took
sorry.
off my-
Put your fucking
I'll
feet
throw
down.
my socks
That's
away.
not gonna help. Put your feet on the floor.
I can't. It's
This
not
is the
comfortable.
problem. This motherfucker just took off his shoes, and I died a little inside. Like it became a serious problem.
I'm sorry. I have a foot odor.
Terrible foot odor.
Anyways, leading up to the 11th grade, I was planning to like try much harder in school. Like I was like, this is the year that I'm gonna do everything right. There's a special program at our school that you go to like a college classroom basically, which our brother Shade does now. He goes to the ATC building
ATC.
and does like special college level classes, or at least borderline college level. And we had that for I don't even fucking remember what I wanted to take there, but I wanted to do that, and I also wanted to do advanced placement English class, right? Well, my teacher tells me that I wasn't far enough along in math to do all that. Like, if I did that, I would have to take a summer course in math. And I was like, whatever, I'll do math over the summer, right? Well, so this was my plan. Like, I had it all planned out that I was gonna go to ATC and also go to advanced English. But like no one contacted me about like how to get to ATC, like when I would be going and stuff like that. And so on the first day of school, I go to my guidance counselor, who was a terrible, terrible person, and I have more stories about the trouble she got me in.
Oh yeah.
She eventually got fired
She
for
sucked.
being shit. But our school had like different guidance counselors depending on what your last name was. Like so she was like A through C or something like that. And she had told me on the first day of school, I was like, "What? So what's the deal? Am I going to ATC or what?" And she was like, "Well, you can't do ATC and do advanced placement English because you need to take the this math course." And I was like, "Well, I thought I could take that over the summer." And she's like, "Oh, well, you know, we never arranged that, so we're probably just gonna have to drop you out of ATC, like on the spot. Let's like you're." I think really it was more like I was never entered into ATC or something. Like I just was not a part of it, and so she was just like, yeah, you're not doing that. And so instantly, all motivation I had to do well in school was lost. Like, cause at this
They
point,
crushed your dreams. You were fucked by someone.
right?
They really just destroyed.
Yeah, like up to
Your
that point,
enthusiasm.
you know, I had been doing kind of shit in school for a couple of years, but I wasn't like outright shit. Like, you know, I would get like 1E per report card kind of thing.
That's pretty bad.
No, I don't mean per report card through like every report card. I mean like once a year.
Still pretty bad.
I would fail a class.
That
is far above average.
There's that joke in it's like an Asian joke. There was in that one. There's this new show where it's like the Asian family or whatever.
Fresh off the boat.
Fresh off the boat. And they did a joke where it's like the Asian kid gets straight A's and like the parents think that the school is too easy.
Yeah.
And then like the white kid gets straight C's and he gets like all this money and like he gets a basketball hoop and it's like, yeah, you got straight C's.
Yeah, everyone's celebrating the white kid's
Our
C's.
family was borderline like that.
No, our family was the opposite of that.
I think you set that bar because I remember it being
For
a
me,
higher standard
no.
until you started getting like bad
our
grades
family
all the time.
our family did not ever celebrate getting bad grades.
Oh no, not
Our
celebrate.
family has permanently
but
been
it was like,
disappointed
oh
in us.
yeah, you didn't get any D's. Thank you.
Nah, it was never like that. You're completely misremembering.
I don't know.
The fact that you've never had bad grades
Yeah, that probably
assures me
helps.
you're misremembering. Absolutely, because I mean, we still give Shade complete shit if he gets bad grades.
Yeah.
And he's finally picking up now that he's a senior, because he made terrible grades in most of middle and high school. But when I was growing up, my mom put a lot of pressure on me to make. My mom got like mad at me for C's. You know, like that was enough to make her like, you know, you're not doing well enough and shit like that. And I went to gifted schools in elementary school. Which quickly made me realize that I was just not able to keep up with it, because even though I was really smart, I didn't give a fuck about school. Like, I couldn't stay focused on something I didn't care about. And I never cared about school. I never understood why I was there or what was going on. But when I got into like middle and high school, my grades started slipping, and then it was like when I was in 9th grade, we lived in the ghetto for a little while, and like just I was depressed and didn't have any friends, and like I didn't care about school, and then like certain grades didn't carry over between schools and stuff. Basically, I just kept getting fucked by the school system.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
the more that happens, the less I could care. And so going into 11th grade, I was like, this is the time where I'm gonna make everything right, and I'm gonna do like really well in school. I'm gonna do all these advanced placement classes and shit, and try to make up for it and like set my future in stone, right? And I was super scared of it because I knew that I still hated school, but you know, I just wanted to be an adult, to be a grown up. And then the first day of school, she tells me you can't do ATC. So instantly I'm like, fuck it, I give up. So I was doing advanced placement English, and that class was fucking brutal because everyone in there is used to like hardcore studying. They're all in like all AP classes. They're all used to fucking tons of homework. I'm not used to that shit. I don't do homework. Fuck that, you know? So I'm like getting loaded down with all this shit, and I was still really depressed at the time, and it was just like ruining me. I'll tell the story of how I got out of that class that year later, because that happened early into the year, and it's its own dramatic, intense story of how I got out of
kind
AP
of awesome
English. Story where I almost got expelled from school. but anyways, I got out of that class, and then I just didn't give a fuck about my other classes. So my math class that year was Algebra 2, and the teacher we had was brand new. It was his first year teaching, and after the first like 6 weeks, he just goes, or maybe it was 9 weeks, it might have been the first report card period, he goes, yeah, I realize teaching's really not for me, I'm gonna quit. This dude went through 6 years of college, became a teacher, and then after 9 months decided that he was going to go become work for his dad as a mechanic, because he liked working with cars and his dad was a mechanic. So he was just like, yeah, teaching's not really for me, gonna go become a mechanic. And I remember I gave him a bunch of shit for it. I told him, I was like,
getting shit from some high school kid with shitty grades.
No, well, my grades were they were not great even then. Even early in the year, I was like C to D level in that class. But But I said, yeah, you're not really setting a good role model for the kids by saying that college, what you went to college for 6 years for wasn't worth it. He did not give a fuck. He clearly was done with school. Like
Sure, it was your fault.
He had very fast gotten disillusioned with the idea of teaching.
I don't know how you were ever illusioned with the idea of teaching. Like, who goes through school and
don't know.
and doesn't recognize how like stressful and difficult being a teacher is gonna be?
I guess most people don't think about it.
Yeah,
you
I don't
know?
realize that with a lot of jobs. It's like, didn't you know it was gonna be just horrible? Like everything is always like that.
It's funny because people all the time say that they think I should become like a teacher or a professor, and I'm like, I could maybe see teaching a college class where I get to set like all my own like rules.
But there's gonna be all this other shit that you don't want to do.
Right,
it's gonna be all these rules and all these
I had to like build a curriculum and like a schedule.
All the stuff that you aren't.
You guys have to realize I don't even wake up and fall asleep at the same time 2 days in a row ever. Yeah. And that's not of
and you have to survive all the years of school to become that professor.
That's not of my own volition. I literally can't like wake up and fall asleep at the same time consistently. That's like the most basic shit that I would need to be able to do to even start to be organized enough to be a professor, you know?
I'll say I'm inspired by my Japanese teacher because of course, you know, she has that rigid Japanese education where she's much more bigger work ethic, but she'll talk about like just the tons and tons and tons of work she does for her classes, and then she's like, but I love it. Right. I have fun every bit of it. She loves doing that work.
If you have fun, then
and it's like, holy hell, you are really like made to do this.
Right. Like I could definitely be a lecturer, but not a professor. Yeah. You know, I would not want to have to deal with paperwork and red tape and all that.
A lot
shit.
of film professors are like that, where they're like clearly they don't give a fuck about like the professor aspect of it. Like they just want to teach film.
But anyway, so that teacher left. The math teacher, getting back to the actual story, and he was like, we went through a period where we just had like this endless string of substitutes, right? Like every fucking couple of days we'd have a different substitute, and they all would teach differently, you know, like either they wouldn't know where we were in the book, or they wouldn't know like how the teacher had explained the problems and stuff like that. It was just super confusing. We had this one woman who started to become the substitute for like a couple of weeks, and the way she taught was just so like obtuse and confusing. She just was not good at explaining things in a way that made a lot of sense. And I was like, oh man, I can't wait to be rid of this woman. So I was just not even paying attention while she was around. Well, then it turns out she became our teacher for the rest of the year. And at this point, I had already gotten like so far behind in like paying attention. Because with math, you need to know like the last formula to learn the next one. So if you fall behind, you're kind of fucked. So I just fell behind and then never picked up again. Yeah. It was just an endless cycle of me not knowing what was going on. So what I would do is I would either just sleep through class like blatantly, or I would bring a bunch of manga and I'd just read manga through the whole class. Sometimes I would read 3 entire volumes of manga during one algebra period. Yeah. And like it was super sad like that I was doing it, because at the time I was so fed up with school I really thought I was going to drop out. That was the year where I thought I was going to drop out and become a filmmaker. Which is another story in its own right. But so yeah, I was just like dicking around this whole fucking year, and then there was one point where the teacher like took me, because I wrote, like, she gave us a quiz, and like I didn't answer any of the questions. I just wrote like a paragraph saying like, look, I sleep through all these classes, I don't care about any of this knowledge, I'm not even trying, you can tell I don't care. Like that was basically what it said, and I turned in that. And then she pulled me aside into the hallway and was like trying to give me like a stern talking to, like a, look, you need to work harder in this class or else you're going to be in trouble kind of thing. But like she was just so ill-spoken that it was like impossible to like take her seriously, you know? Just not a good teacher.
Yeah. Education system really failed you.
And she's trying to talk to me, and I was just like, I just basically said, like, I'm not going to. Like, I told her, I was like, I plan to drop out at some point. I don't want to be here. I don't care about what you're teaching, you know. And she made it sound like she was eventually going to do something about it, but she never did. She just let me sit there. You're about to get killed. You're about to die. Oh, good job. saved while taking a drink.
Hell yeah.
She never did anything about it. I made it through the year with a 17% in that class, which brought my GPA down to a 1.9.
Oh my god, was that your ending GPA?
For
just
11th
for the year?
grade.
Oh my god.
I ended school with like a 2.5 or something.
Oh.
But that sounds so dramatic.
It's
who fucking cares? I didn't go to college. Why does it matter? Who the fuck cares about my GPA?
Now it's like I'm towards the end of college. It's like my GPA really matters right now.
Right? Yeah, no, my GPA was atrocious. And then I took the same class next year because obviously I failed, so I needed Algebra 2 because it's like the highest math that I needed. And I got a 91%.
Yeah.
Because my teacher was really great.
Yeah.
You know why he was great? Because he explained the formulas in very extensive detail. He would go over it again and again throughout the class. Then he would give you a homework assignment that was exactly related to what he had just taught us.
Yeah.
And he would give the homework assignment about 10 minutes before 5 to 10 minutes before the end of class, because he usually finished class early. And so the homework assignments were usually just like 5 to 10 problems. I would do them before leaving class, and then my homework was done.
Yeah.
So I always got my homework done on time because I didn't have to do it at home. And I learned everything in class because he explained it properly.
Yeah.
And I passed all the quizzes and I got a 91. That's all it takes to be a good teacher. Just gotta actually put in effort to explain things properly and engage your students. He was a super cool guy. He would always talk about his own youth and shit like that and what it was like for him in school. Just a cool old dude who knew math.
Yep.
Anyway, that's it for this episode.
Zoopity-doo!